70% of Ava members say that they saw an improvement within 30 days of using the product.
It offers a simple, user-friendly experience and is especially great for people who have struggled with establishing credit in the past.
This is truly the only product that I have ever seen personally that is able to help build your credits while simultaneously forcing you to save money, all for a very low annual fee that, let's be honest, will more than pay for itself.
We just had a product launch, so congratulations, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, Reza is here. Gopi, congratulations on great product launch. Looking forward to hearing more. Got Gopi Rangan here from Shore Ventures, and Reza, co-founder and president of Ava. With that, take it away.
Are you able to hear me? Great. Hello. Prepare to be blown away. Today is a very special moment. It's a unique day. After 5 years in stealth mode, Ava comes out telling their story for the first time ever. No one has heard this story in the world. You are the first audience. It's a historic moment. Let's just celebrate that. And when I tell you, prepare to be blown away, really, prepare to be blown away. The mission of the company, the products they're building, and the team, all of them combined, it's just unbelievable how it all came together. But let's start with Reza. I'm going to ask him about Ava first, and then we'll go into more discussions about the team. What is Ava?
First of all, thank you for the kind introduction, Gopi. So Ava is a little brainchild that started 5 years ago with me and my two co-founders. I think they're in the audience. And the whole premise was we believe that every single person should pay less in debt. Debt is crippling America. $18 trillion is how much American households owe in debt, and over $1 trillion in just credit card balances with very high interest rates. So what we believed our mission was to get help every single person have and pay less in interest and fees. Now, that sounds simple, but our approach was very unique. We believe that the way you solve this problem is actually through automation. And what does that mean? Very precisely, our vision and our conviction is that you solve this through agentic finance. And what is agentic finance? It is simply, right now, the way we apply it, helping solve the problem of suboptimal credit scores, which 79% of people are looking to improve their credit scores. Like, that's a problem they're trying to solve. And the second part is the hard work of getting the right kind of financial products. I'll just give you one example. During the lowest point of interest rates several years ago, 20% of homeowners didn't even bother refinancing because it was hard. It's a lot of work. And you solve this problem, both of these problems, through agentic finance, and that's what we're trying to do.
Raise your hand if you have, at least once, either you or a friend of yours has forgotten to pay a bill, a simple $10 bill, or forgotten to pay, like had a default on a debt. It's such a common problem.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody has faced this situation. I have faced it. My wife has faced it. It is pervasive. So in some ways, it feels like, yeah, it's such an easy problem to solve, but it's not being solved. On the other side, people learn to live with this problem. So it's never going to be able to solve unless you change behavior. So how do you deal with two sides of the problem?
So we have this conviction that you can't truly change behavior. And the way we solve this problem is actually through automation. And I'll give you just a very simple way of thinking about this, is these mistakes that people make, and I talk to our users all the time. They make a mistake, their credit score goes down. I've made mistakes. My co-founder, forgot to pay a bill once, and I've forgotten to pay bills. And these mistakes add up, and they are very costly, especially if you're financially stretched. And our conviction is that the way you solve it is through automation, particularly agentic finance. And the way that would work, and the way we believe this works, is AI is very good at solving seemingly small problems at scale that leads to massive impact. And I'll just give you an example. Our users, if you increase your credit score by anywhere from 50 to 100 points, the average person will save $1,000 or more per year on their loans, on their financial products. If you look at just our user base, we have over almost 180,000 subscribers, members. Lifetime, we've had over 350,000 people use our product. Take that, multiply it over the lifetime of those loans. If you do the math, it comes out to be over $1 billion in interest and fees saved, just because you have automated and put your credit optimization on autopilot. If you 100x that, we're talking about $100 billion societal impact right back to the average person, because AI can finally solve this problem that human beings will never be able to do.
I want to talk more about products and the market, but let's get to the founding team first.
Yes.
How did the team come together? How did you find each other? How did you brainstorm to say that's the problem we want to solve?
Yeah. So all three of me and my co-founders, we are first generation immigrants. We've been very fortunate to work at some incredible companies like Stripe, Microsoft, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is where I met my co-founder. And Credit Karma, where both my co-founders used to work before we started this. And we've been very fortunate, but we also knew each other from a long time ago. And being first-generation immigrants, we knew how costly and impactful financial mistakes are. When I first went to get my first apartment, I didn't know what a credit score was. I had to get my dad's friend to co-sign a lease with me. My co-founder, Omar, he had a job at Microsoft as a software engineer, and he had to go get a secured card from a bank. And so these stories are common for a lot of people. And for us, that's how we met. And we felt the pain. And I'll tell you one thing. Even though we have degrees, we've worked at great companies, at best, we are average at managing our finances. And that's us. And we wanted to solve this problem. We were like, this is a massive problem. We felt the pain. And we believe now is the time to do it, because finally, the leaps in AI has been achieved that agentic finance is actually finally possible.
I have had the honor to receive the first copy of the slide deck when AVA was created. It had a few typos, and I'm still holding on to it because this company is freaking amazing. It's going to be a multiple billion-dollar valuation sometime soon, and I'm going to bring that slide deck back and show that, look, I had the first copy. And I'm so delighted that I had the honor to invest in the company as the first investor, and I'm even more delighted that Raya, that Transform and others have joined as well. It's a very special moment. As a venture capital investor, we live for founders to succeed. But this is just, every quarter I talk to the team, I'm blown away by the progress. Every year, they keep growing at a pace that is just unbelievable. In the end, you're a consumer-facing fintech app. I have seen a lot of those. Most of them make money through advertisement, or they sell some kind of loan or credit card or some kind of financial product. How do you make money?
So from the very beginning, we wanted to actually really disrupt the way monetization works in fintech. We were not interested in making money through interest or fees. We were not interested in making money primarily through lead gen. The way we set up our business model, we have a simple subscription product. Hey, if our product works for the average user, they'll keep paying. If it doesn't, they'll stop paying, right? And that has a very interesting knock-on effect in which we are constantly only oriented towards the best interest of our members. If you look at other financial institutions, I don't think Bank of America or any financial lending company will ever be like, you know what, let's find a way to reduce your interest and fees. Let's try to make some less money off of you guys. That's never going to happen. And the way our subscription product works is simple monthly fee or an annual fee. And our product is right there. And if it doesn't work for you, you stop using it. But the reason we have good retention, really great retention, is that people get more value out of our product than what they pay. And for us, my conviction and our conviction is that in the future is all about having financial assistants that do the work for you autonomously. And financial products like loans and others are just commodities. They're nothing more than an interest rate. There's nothing more than a number. And people will rely on these agents, rely on these trusted agents to get them to the financial outcome that they want to get to. And then we'll stop seeing the Bank of Americas and Chase and cities that are only different how bad their customer service is. Right? That's the only differentiator. Otherwise, they have no differentiation. I walked into Citibank the other day, and I pulled out my Chase debit card. I can't tell the difference, right? And I think those days are gone. It's about time we kill these legacy ways of doing things and really work for the users.
So you are an AI company, but you don't invade people's privacy. You are a fintech company, but you're not dishing out other people's commodity products. Now you walk into Chase or you walk into Citibank, it's the same kind of couches. You actually cannot tell the difference behind the scenes. How do you find the right kind of audience for Ava? Who is the right user and why do they care?
So our audience is actually quite broad. The way I think about it is our audience is anybody who actually wants to pay less for their debt and want to be treated well.
That's everyone.
I think that's everybody, right? So there you go. And I think that's why the opportunity is so massive for us. And I think of this problem and the way to solve this problem is not just in the US. I think it has to be like global. Our ambitions are massive because we can do things finally with this approach for everybody. And the way we find people, we try to address the problems that's concerning them. And we think of our users as people to serve, not entities to extract value from, which is how financial institutions for the longest time, for thousands of years, have treated people. Hey, we are going to originate a loan from you, charge compound interest, which is crazy, and then make a lot of money off you. And the more in debt you get, the more money we make. And I think that paradigm has to be broken.
Now, if you have questions, feel free to scan the QR code and add the questions. I'm going to watch the page here to pop up those questions. You've grown tremendously. I know some of these numbers. Can you use some stats and metrics to show where you are today? How did you grow from where you are, from zero pretty much to where you are today? I know you have more than 100,000 active users on the platform. Can you share some statistics?
Well, I mean, at a high level, we should be crossing about 200,000 members by the end of the year. And a couple of interesting facts that I always like to talk about is almost half of all our users come through word of mouth. So we do marketing. There's no such thing as not doing marketing. But almost half our members actually hear about Ava from others. I spoke to a user who recently from Florida. He lives in Boca Raton. It's like, hey, my cousin recommended. I was like, okay, so what did your cousin think about this? Like, he was raving about it, and he told the entire family about it. So that's like 7, 8 cousins, and that's a nice little multiplier effect. So our conviction, our belief also is that if you treat users right, if you actually work in their best interest, that is the biggest, most sustained moat you can build when it comes to your brand. And if you think of your users as resources to extract value from, you're going to be stuck doing ads for the rest of the lifeline of the company.
You've been around for 5 years, and today is a very special day because it's the first time the company was covered by a magazine, by a journalist. So after this session, please go up on the internet. You can look up, LinkedIn is blowing up with the news about Ava. Axios has written an exclusive article about Ava, thanks to Raya, the team. Today is the first day that you've actually come out and started telling the story. What's the future? What is coming up in the short term?
So our first phase of our evolution was to build what we mentioned, like helping people get to the best credit score that they deserve to get to. We are currently, and we have all these members using it, using a product. We are piloting an agentic finance features with a small set of users. It's very cool. We should be out with a couple of features very, very soon. And we'll continue on that paradigm, continue building out and scaling out this platform. We take compliance and regulations very seriously. So as much as we are about AI, agentic finance, and tech, we also take our regulatory responsibilities very seriously. And we've worked on that continuously, so we have to continue building that trust with our members. And finally, I think there's nothing more important, way more important than press coverage and more important than ads or anything, is actually to solve real problems for our members. So one of my team members once asked me, Reza, do you know what our competitors are doing? I said, actually, it doesn't matter what our competitors are doing. We actually don't have that many who are approaching this problem in this particular way. What I care about is our users. What do they say about us? What are they saying about us on the internet? And for me, when you say what's ahead of us, it's like meet our members wherever they are, meet their problems, solve their problems, and that's the only mission we have.
I wish this existed when I was a new immigrant in the US. I would have avoided so many stupid mistakes I made. And finance is quite scary for people, even for very smart people, brilliant people. When it comes to money, they don't talk about it publicly, open with their friends. And you're doing something that is very unique. This is like Waymo for money. It's self-driving money. It's kind of taking care of things behind the scenes when you're sleeping. And
I would argue our society needs self-driving autonomous finance more than we need autonomous cars. Because the small little mistakes people are making on average is having life-changing consequences in their lives. And I think, to me, that is a harder problem to solve. It's less flashy than Waymo cars, but I think the societal impact of removing financial mistakes, which, by the way, end up benefiting large financial institutions that are massive and have massive dividends, massive profits, also causes societal issues. If you look at the current societal problems that we see, a lot has to do with economics, a lot has to do with debt. Americans are the average person is out there buying groceries with their credit card debt. And it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that bad. And that's why when somebody says, what are you building? I often say, if autonomous cars are prevalent, why isn't autonomous finance prevalent? And that's because that's a problem that is not something that the banks or the financial institutions want to solve because it's not in their interest.
do we have time? 3 more minutes, good. Feel free to add more questions here. Reza, I get it. You're a fintech app. Your customers love you. But in the end, there are so many other fintech apps. There are so many other choices for customers. And they all promise, we'll make your life better, we'll make your finances better. How are you going to differentiate from that crowd? And what's the vision for Ava for the long term?
I think it comes down to something very simple. It's not that complicated. Most financial apps, fintech, has been focused on either wrapping old products and trying to give it a new spin, or they've been focused way too much on recommendation and insights, which is, hey, you should do this, you should do that. But I've talked to our users. I talked to this woman who's a nurse, a single mom, works a 12-hour shift, comes home at 9 p.m., puts her kids to bed, and the last thing she wants to do is get some insights and recommendations on what to do about her finances. I don't think that is the reality. And what makes us different is that we believe that we have to take action on behalf of our users. We have to do the work for them, which is harder. But that is where the difference really comes in. And I think information is way too much financial information out there. You go to YouTube, you go to Reddit, there's too much out there. But has that made a difference? It has absolutely made no material difference to the average person's life. And our belief is that that's because nobody's actually gone out and said, you know what, we will actually help you do the work that needs to be done, and we'll build a platform, and we'll build the technology to take the heavy lifting off of your shoulders. So
you're not only giving, here are 4 choices, you go chase and find a loan solution or a credit card solution or debt consolidation. You're actually doing it behind the scenes using the agents, which gives so much peace of mind to people. Obviously, you're an amazing founder. A lot of things have lined up to make you successful. And I want to ask you about your personal life, your family, and the infrastructure you have that has allowed you to pursue this path. Can you share a little bit?
I will just say one thing.
A lot of good things happened
Yeah.
during the 5 years while you were
I mean, since I
building
founded, I had 2 kids. My co-founders got 2 kids, and look, I think what we set out to do from the very onset was to actually have some meaningful impact on people's lives. We have families, and I talk to people who have families. And I think it is really about time we think of technology in terms of real problems versus, technology looking for problems. And that is one of the biggest problems we have in tech. It was like, hey, we have a cool tech, let's go find somebody to go use it. And for me personally, I want my kids, my children, my family to grow up in a time where, finances is not a major mystery. It is not a source of anxiety for the everyday person. Shouldn't have to be that way.
You're solving a very, very important problem for the world, and it's going to create a massive impact, a lot more than $1 billion, and many, many millions of people. Thank you very much for doing what you do.